The night was unusually quiet. Far beneath a ruined city, an abandoned research facility trembled as something enormous moved below the ground. The scientists who had once worked there were gone, but their machines were still running. Deep inside the facility, a warning light suddenly turned red. Biological signal detected. Dr. Alina Carter stared at the monitor in disbelief. "That's impossible," she whispered. The screen showed a massive heartbeat buried almost 300 meters beneath the surface. For years, the facility had been studying strange fossils discovered under the city. The scientists believed they belonged to an ancient species that had existed millions of years ago. They never imagined that one of those creatures could still be alive. Then the ground shook. A crack appeared across the laboratory floor. Alina and her team ran toward the emergency exit, but the entire building began collapsing around them. Metal doors bent, glass shattered, dust filled the corridors. Suddenly, a deafening roar came from underground. Everyone froze. The sound wasn't like an animal. It was deeper, older. Something had awakened. Outside, the city was already in chaos. Cars crashed into one another as people ran through the streets. Buildings shook violently, and clouds of dust rose between the skyscrapers. Then, the pavement exploded. A gigantic creature emerged from beneath the city. It was the Female MUTO, an ancient parasitic titan with enormous limbs, armored skin, and terrifying strength. Her wings stretched across the skyline as she climbed from the ruins. People screamed and fled. But the creature didn't attack immediately. She stood motionless, looking toward the horizon. Then she made another roar. Thousands of birds escaped from nearby buildings. Dr. Alina watched from a damaged evacuation center. "She isn't attacking randomly," Alina said. Her colleague looked confused. "What do you mean?" "She is searching for something." The scientists quickly examined the creature's movements and discovered a strange pattern. The Female MUTO repeatedly moved toward an abandoned nuclear facility outside the city. Alina realized what was happening. She needs radiation. The military launched aircraft to stop her before she reached the facility. Missiles exploded around the creature, but the Female MUTO continued walking. The explosions only made her more aggressive. Then she reached the nuclear facility. Instead of destroying it, she placed her enormous claws against the reactor chamber. The machines inside began overheating. Alina suddenly understood. She isn't trying to destroy the reactor. She's feeding from it. The military prepared a final strike, but Alina refused to accept it. "If we attack her now, we'll make everything worse." She convinced the commander to wait. Meanwhile, the Female MUTO absorbed the radiation. Her wounds began healing, and her enormous wings slowly unfolded. Then something unexpected happened. She turned toward the ocean. Alina looked at the satellite images. There was another biological signal beneath the water. A second titan. The Female MUTO had been searching for its presence all along. The city had mistaken her behavior for pure destruction. She wasn't hunting humans. She was trying to find her own kind. The military finally stopped attacking. As the sun began rising, the Female MUTO walked toward the coastline. Thousands of frightened people watched from a safe distance. Before entering the ocean, she stopped. For one brief moment, her enormous head turned toward the city. Then she disappeared beneath the waves. The streets were destroyed, but millions of lives had been saved because someone had chosen understanding over fear. Dr. Alina looked at the ruined skyline. "Sometimes," she said quietly, "the most terrifying thing isn't the monster." Her colleague nodded. "It's our decision to destroy what we don't understand." The ocean became calm. Far beneath the waves, two ancient signals moved toward each other. And somewhere in the darkness, another roar echoed. The awakening had only begun. Fear can make us destroy what we don't understand. True courage is not always about fighting. It is about observing, understanding, and choosing wisely before taking action.